My name is Lindsay Lara. Today is April 24th, 2024. This is for transportation operations, logistics 229. I decided to do the railroads, uh, safety because I'm from a small farming community. So we rely a lot on semis and trains for transportation of grains, cotton, a lot of things. We don't have too much of air or carriers there. So I did my research. I found some information from R&S Track Maintenance Incorporation, and they do a lot of the maintenance on the railroads. So they explain the safety standards that railroads and other track owners must follow to keep their lines as safe as possible and reducing the risk of accidents and injuries. According to the FRA, which is the Federal Railroad Administration, people actually have to go out and inspect the rails, the tracks, and report on their safety status, and it's done by certified engineers that are specially trained in those areas. The railroad safety is important because it can make a big difference between life and death, because if you miss one small thing, you can cause a railroad to derail or cause some kind of problems for them. They can cause collisions or any other rail-related incidents. So there's dangers and there's many importance. The benefits that you get, it also says, like, if the railroads are found to not be compliant, they can shut them down and they can receive a large penalty and fines for it. They also conduct periodic inspections that make it compliant with the regulations. The benefits that you get from following the regulations is that you can prevent derailments and other fatalities that are possible, any other accidents or worn out rails and tracks, and it reduces the risk of injury or death from collisions with train structures or people. And it can also improve performance and reliability. They're less prone to degradation and wear, and it can lead to improved efficiency, fewer breakdowns, and fewer delays, which saves you money. Well, saves companies money in railroad industry, and it provides a better experience for the companies and the customers. It also states that I think that's it from them. Yeah, it's all on that. And I looked up the regulations from the, which one is this one? I think this one is the railroad safety. Railroad safety. Which one is this? This one's from the Federal Railroad Administration. They also state that the office that they have 400 federal safety inspectors who actually specialize in 6 technical disciplines focusing on compliance and enforcement. Grade crossing, hazardous material, motor power and equipment, operating practices, signal and train control, and the track. It also talks about like the training that they have, railroad safety and stakeholder training, accident employee fatality investigations and reporting partnerships between labor management agency and address systemic initiatives. They talk more about, when I was researching on the Federal Railroad Administration, I liked it because like it lets the public report things on a railroad. It pulls up a map and you can put in like where you're at, and it walks you through how to report any safety issues that you see. And one of the questions was, did you already report this? And it gave you like only 3 or 4 questions, and I thought that was really interesting because I had never seen that. This also talks about the high hazard flammable train route assessment. It talks about how it just says like when you're carrying hazardous materials that you verify proper train makeup and consistent accuracy, evaluate railroads response and communications in the communities through which your hazardous materials are being transported, inspect all your cars for service, and it says verify your proper notification of state's emergency response. It also talks about the operating power practices, your motive power and equipment, your signals and your train controls. It also talked about what is it? Your no train horn rule and quiet zones, where you have to go quiet through certain times. It says engineers must begin to sound train horns at least 50 seconds and no more than 20 seconds in advance of all public grade crossings. And if it's traveling more than 60 miles an hour, engineers will not sound the horn until it is 1/4 mile of the crossing, even if the advance warning is less than 15 seconds. And he says, I did not know that there's such thing as a good faith in railroading. I didn't know. It explains it as locations where engineers cannot precisely estimate their arrival at a crossing and may begin to sound the horn no more than 25 seconds before arriving at a crossing. And it's the pattern is 2 long, 1 short, and then you have that 1 long blast that has to be repeated until they are at the crossing. The grade crossing is what they call it. And it actually tells them how loud they can blow their horn. The maximum that you can do is 110 decibels, and the minimum is 96 decibels, which was really interesting because I did not know that they actually had horn volume levels. I thought that was really interesting. I also learned there's an emergency number that you can call if there's a crossing incident. They listed the phone. It have a phone number as 1-800-555-5555. And you actually, like, I thought that was interesting as well. And it actually gives you a form on that. It also talked about drug and alcohol. I'm pretty sure nobody would want to be using drug or alcohol while they're operating a big old train. But I thought those were really interesting.